Pardon me. Hello. Happy day. Welcome back to my channel. Um, if you are new here, my name is Miriam. I am an intuitive. I speak with angels. I read numbers. I speak with your guides, the universe. And if you're here and you're clicking on this video, I mean, you probably read the title, but I don't know what it's gonna be, but something along the lines of you're seeing my face for some reason. I hardly see my face. It is early. I was planning on sleeping in, but yeah. 6:16 rolled around, 6:16 rolled around, and I was up at 1:01, I think. So, when you're hearing this, I want you to be mindful of how much kindness and grace and love is permeating from you specifically, not just that you have around you, but that you're shining. Okay, not that you're light. Okay, so I'm saying this. Remember this because the words are: the light has dimmed, and you have every right to decide whether or not to shine brighter or less. You've got a dimmer. Right now, you've chosen to kind of dim the light a bit, chill out, conserve. And things still are happening. Things still are developing. Things still are growing. Things still are moving along. And you're realizing, like, as you're still, you are still getting along in the path. Literally, you've been sprinting this whole time. And you just now realized that, after no longer running, that you were on a treadmill. And sometimes we get a little launched off the back of the treadmill, but then we realize, after we get up and dust ourselves off, that we were literally stationary, although our body was moving, that we can now walk around the treadmill and get on along our journey. Now, granted, it does not have to be some abrupt stop, because you still have so much awareness in your life. You used to have so much awareness that you can see that, man, I am up. I am awake now. Anyway, you have so much awareness that you're able to see the treadmills of your life. You're able to see that you're on it. You're able to see the device in front of you, that there's buttons and stuff. You can tell that the landscape isn't moving. Whenever you look around, there's no change. It's still the same picture again and again, and it's not some flat thing. There's a hill right there. You'd be able to tell if you were up the hill. And you've been putting in all this effort, and you're not going anywhere. You're training to go up that hill. It's not bad to be on the treadmill either. It's not bad to work and be still at the same time. It's not bad to just sprint to get ready, because whenever you're actually on the pavement, when you're actually in it, there's terrain, there's weather, there's different factors that go into it, and there are some things that that you can do yourself. And I want to use the word control. in one of its other definitions. I don't know what it is. It's the English language. Um, but you're able to establish some type of preparation that lets you feel confident in the journey, as opposed to, yeah, technically I did it, but it was because I had to. It was because I was lost and afraid, and so now I realize the limitations of my body through force, as opposed to slowly building through up to limitation. And I think because it's been so difficult for you to realize, since so much stuff happened to you when you were like young, that you kind of feel like that's what things have to be, is that it has to be just so much like all of a sudden you're realizing the limitations of your body, as opposed to um, gradually growing up to it. Or not necessarily that that's, yeah, I mean that's what, maybe that's what you're used to, but it may be a form of, oh gosh, I don't really like those words though. Okay. Okay, it's a form of internal abuse, of the self. It's perpetuating the cycle of things. Maybe not exactly the things that happen to you, but um, perhaps, like, I mean, people have crossed your boundaries a lot since you were pretty young. Um, they've definitely saw that you were a loving energy, that you felt like an angelic energy. Um, and so sometimes people just really like, the response to that are so many things. Sometimes people just get angry. There might be a lot of envy around you. And that's okay. That stuff will pass. Like, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem. And I feel like you've grown up in like in a place where it's very judgmental um, mindset. Like, everybody always thinks you're judging them, but really you're not. You're literally trying to help them. Um, and so it's almost like this belief of like, oh no, people are gonna think I'm judging them, and you wouldn't really feel that way if you didn't feel like you were judging yourself. Because in that moment, you're judging yourself, saying, I'm being judgmental. But sometimes you gotta dim your light a little bit, just to rest. But that doesn't mean your light isn't permeating still, isn't going through whatever darkness. And really, it reminds me of the Colorado snow. When it snows in Colorado, it's so bright at night that you think it's like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. Um, it's just so, so bright. It reflects from the sky, and it just like, it's wild. um, and it's almost like you realize now that you don't need to be beaming so brightly at this point and burning down any wick too quickly, because there are ways for your light to reflect. There are ways for your light to bounce off of things and create a bright environment without a huge amount of resource being used. That's something that you are comprehending so much that you're going to be able to teach people about it if you want. I mean, I know you have some type of you may have some type of hesitation right now to start talking to people and spreading your message. And again, the people around you might not need it, hear it. You just might be in the wrong spot, like geographically, and We are blessed with this technology. I mean, there's a blessing and curse with everything, because as humans, there tends to be an exploitation of things. So even this can be divine. And so if you are, I mean, you know this. Why are you here otherwise? Like, really? I know for a fact that the people that are meant to find this are people who are meant to be their own star, who are meant to be making content, who are meant to be the next generation of a renaissance. Like, these are things that are true to you, and you feel it so much. Not everybody feels special the way that you feel special, and I know you're a humble person, so it's hard for you to accept to hear that, but you are special in a very, very special way. Everybody's special in a very, very special way. You are special in a very, very special way, though. I know it's the same words again and again, but understand my inflection, understand my tone. If you're here, you're meant to be making an impact in whatever way feels good to you. It doesn't have to be making videos at 6:50 in the morning because things just keep going off in your head. It will be something that calls to your joy, that you experienced before you experienced pain. Granted, life is pain. If you were born naturally, that is not a fun process. A lot of us do not remember those things, those times, and some of us do. It's not fun being born. It's painful. It's pressure. It's all of a sudden cold too, I'm sure. And before that, you were in the warm embrace of the mother's womb. Warm. Now, whenever we think of light, a lot of times we think of warmth. And in the case of our experiences, when we first experience a real bright light, it's pretty cold out there. And it was warm and pretty dark in the room. I mean, you can still kind of see a little bit pink, a little bit red. Dark nonetheless. Dark and warm. And so, even from a very young age, from birth, we are taught that bright light is uncomfortable. Bright light is a startle. Now, I don't know how you were born. There may have been no lights. I was born in the front seat of a Cadillac. I don't know if there were lights. This is... Oh, the cat is running around. This is what is meant to be. And as you grow, you can keep an eye out for the numbers and stay synchronized.